welcome to my channel. My name is Stacy. Today we're going to do something a little bit different than what I typically do on my channel, because a lot of times I talk about books and things like that. And today I wanted to show you an example of neurographic art and my process with that. All right, so let's create something today. I've got my coffee. All right, we've got coffee. I've got my artist roll. We're gonna be using Viviva colors. I have these, also the color sheets that I absolutely love. But we're gonna use the palettes today. I have the regular ones and then the spring. And the spring ones I actually did swatch out, but we're gonna use these. And I think what we're gonna do today is something that I really like to do. We're gonna do some neurographic art. I find it very relaxing, and we're gonna do it on a smaller sketchbook. So I'm gonna use my Strathmore mixed media notebook. I've done a lot of pieces in here. And let's make sure we have a new page. Okay, those are some mixed media pieces I'm using. These are some gessoed pages. I want one that's not prepped because I don't need that for this piece. So the first thing I'm gonna do is grab a fine liner. Let's see. Now, I use different types of fine liners. I really like the Sharpie pen. I have found that it's waterproof. It doesn't usually have any issues with that as long as you let it dry like any other fine liner. So I just enjoy using this one. There's all different ways to do this, and I've seen tons of different people do it different ways. Let's see if I have an example. All right, so here's an example that you could do it this way. This one I used, again, the Sharpie Creative markers. And I did just some lines. Then I went and colored it and then went over the black lines again. We're gonna do something a little different today. We're doing this more closer to what neurographic art actually is. And I find it either way is just as relaxing. So it just kind of depends on how you wanna do it. My camera angle is kind of weird. Okay. So first a big part of this is just being present. A big part of this is just letting yourself kind of be in the moment and enjoying the process. So you might start with a line and then draw how you feel, whether that's up or down, or just kind of going with what you're feeling in the moment. And then once you have your first line, we're gonna do another one. You're gonna start wherever you want, up here, down here, wherever. Let's start down here. You wanna make sure you cross over. You don't have to do it all over the place, but you do want some. All right, I'm gonna do one here. And then the next part, so I like how that looks. Also, this isn't really about art or the look of it. This is more of processing feelings. This is more about like being present and just enjoying the process. So this is definitely a piece. This is a great warm-up, I have found, especially if I don't know what to draw or what I want to work on. I will do something like this to get warmed up, even if I don't color it and all that. Oops. Even if I don't color it and go through all that. 'Cause sometimes I color it, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I like how it looks black and white. The other thing is sometimes I'll use these in mixed media pieces later. So there's also that. So let's draw a shape. Not any emotion. There. And then the next thing we're gonna do is go through and curve anywhere it meets. You wanna get rid of all those harsh lines. So if we feel like an area needs to be colored in, you can also do that. Right now we're just adding the black, curving anything so there's none of these corners. This is what's causing your brain to kind of calm down, is smoothing out those areas. I find this very relaxing. I find this is a good addition to like a meditative practice. Especially if you're like me and you always want to be busy doing something, so meditating is sometimes really hard. So if that's hard, this is a good way of combating that, because it makes it, you're doing something, but it's creating you space to focus. And I like this one because you don't need a whole bunch of supplies. You really just need a piece of paper and a pen. It can even just be a regular ballpoint pen. It can be a pencil also if you'd rather do it in pencil. See, so this area is really small, so we're just going to color that one in. Some of the small areas I like to color in because it just adds a pop of color. You can also make it less complex, more complex. It depends how you feel. Remember, this is more about the process than the actual product. If you need to continue a line through, you can also do that. So if you need to fix a line or anything like that. Especially like down here, if I had stopped here, I could have carried it down if I needed to. Now I like to go back over some of this black. Depending, I might either go back with this or I might go back with a different, like a thicker marker, depends on what I'm feeling at that time, how I want it to look, things like that. What am I feeling? Like I said, if this feels really overwhelming, how I started is I really just kind of did much smaller pieces with thicker lines. Like I said, this is a really good way. Oops, where'd it go? I just showed you? Oh, I lost it. Ah. Oh, here's another example where I put like a book page underneath. So this was more of the artistic style, if you will. So sometimes if I want a specific look, I do it more like this. This, though, is more about that meditative process. This is more about being present in the moment. And just, I like to pair this sometimes with breathing exercises. That's also a good way to be present. This is a great thing, at least I have found, if you're dealing with anxiety. I love to do this when I'm super anxious because it really kind of just calms. Now, a lot of times I'll have more lines, in all fairness, but this one I just didn't feel, I guess, like doing that. And then let's do some painting. I am gonna use, all right, next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add some color. I'm gonna do watercolor for this one. What is this? Okay, let's just grab two random brushes. Oops. All right. Now, there are a couple ways that I've seen people do this and how I do it. Just like anything. All right. A lot of times I like to put it right on the paper, but you can also do it here. Make it a little bit more lighter. This is why I also go back over it with the pen, so I don't worry too much about staying 100% with the lines, because I can go back through and fix that. All right, just what colors do you feel? What colors are your mood? What colors do you like? Maybe you want to go with a specific palette. Maybe you just want to go with a whole bunch of different colors. That's completely up to you. Put a sponge now at the bottom of my water cup to help me clean my brushes. All right. Today I'm just going to use some paper towel. Usually I use a sweatband. We're just gonna use paper towel right now. Let's see. I really love how vibrant these colors are. Like, they are very bright. So even when you notice if I put them right on the page, like, they are very bright. So the Viviva colors have really good brightness. The pigment's really, really nice. And then just kind of go through. Where do you want the color? That's all we're doing. Color down in a couple different places too. I think I used too much water there. No, I guess not. It's fine. A little too much. That's easily fixed. That's the nice thing about watercolors. It is very forgiving. Just pick up some of that water. There we go. There we go. Some more color. Make it light or dark as I want, which is how watercolor works. Let's grab some nice vivid color. There we go. Now what I tend to do too is I will pair like a neurographic art piece. I will pair that with a journaling entry, or I will do some writing like a poem or something like that. You could do short stories. So pairing some of these things with writing also, I think, really helps, and just also adds to your creative flow. So even if you're not someone who likes to paint or things like that, you can also, I mean, I've done this with marker, I've done this with watercolor, whatever medium. I'm just using watercolor because I really wanted to play with watercolor today. But you can really kind of just, whatever you're feeling, that's what's so nice about this, is it's any medium. There's no wrong way to do this. It doesn't have to be perfect. It shouldn't be perfect, in all fairness. You're just getting some emotions out. You're just getting started. Like I said, this is also a really great warm-up. This is a great warm-up to play with color, to play with your medium, to play with whatever you have. Let's see what color is this. Is that the same color? That's the same color as here. Okay. Couldn't remember which one I grabbed. Okay. That's a little bit darker too. Okay. Oh, is that the same one? Oh my goodness. What color do I want to use? I have to swatch those because they look the same. They play a little bit differently. Let's get something a little brighter. Let's do, you know what this needs? This needs some orange. I think this definitely needs some orange. As you can see, I'm not even really going with like, oh, hey, what colors? I'm just like going with what feels good right now. What colors do I feel need to be on the page? If I was gonna do something a little similar to this, but wanted it to be more like cohesive, I would obviously swatch out and kind of pick my colors ahead of time usually. Or at least the family of colors that I would like to go with. This is very much just in the moment. Let's see. I actually like the orange. I like the orange a lot. Let's do, I like that other red, but let's add this, like actual red. So, like I said, this is also a really great way to just kind of explore, whoops, didn't mean to do that one. Explore your palette. Sometimes I like to leave some of the spaces white too. Not all the time though. Now this is really gonna come together, like I said, like how I like to do it when it's, what's it called? Oops. Ooh, I like that. I like the yellow. So this is just about kind of playing with it. Like I said, a lot of times when I use the finer pens, I like to leave those black and white. I could also use colored pencil. Maybe next time we'll do colored pencil. All right, so that's just an example of neurographic art. I'm gonna let this dry, and then I'm gonna come back and go over and decide what I wanna go over with a different marker. So we'll be right back. All right, next step that I would like to do with this is I'm gonna use actually one of the Posca marker. Whoops, we're gonna use Posca marker. And this one is the 1MR, so this is super thin. All right, super thin. But still thicker than what I was using before. So what I do is I just go over those lines. All right, so we're just gonna travel this. If I'd gotten closer, this would look, and a lot of times I actually use something that's thicker than this when I'm doing this and going over it. But for this one, I kind of just wanted to see what it would look like with that. And I honestly kind of like the imperfections because, like I said, this is just, emotions are messy, feelings are messy. And this is how we feel. So this is just supposed to be calming. It soothes our brain. We're soothing out all those pointed areas, things that are causing us stress. Like I said, if you're feeling really stressed, this is a really great activity for that. And if you don't want to do the whole part, maybe you don't do everything. Maybe you do some places thicker than others. How do you want to curve those lines? All right. I take coffee. This is actually an example of watercolor and a similar technique that I made. I made that. Those are in my Etsy shop, which I will link below if you are interested. I have a bunch of stuff that actually stems from art very similar to this. Not quite the neurographic art, but same with like the colors and the lines and all that. So we're just gonna keep going. Like I said, I don't have to do every single thing. It's just where I feel like I need or want a little bit thicker line. This square, I like that. Sometimes I do a circle. I like the square. It's like a little picture frame. And going back over, I make sure I miss, oh, like I missed this. Just make that curved. We don't want any of those jagged edges. Okay, there we go. There we go. Thank you for joining me as we did a little example of this. I'll be doing some other projects and uploading them as well. If you like seeing content like this, make sure you like my video and subscribe, because that will really help me figure out what you like to see. If you have any specific things you want to see, if you want me to do more of this, or if you want to do some of the line or show you line art, I also do mixed media. So if there's something specific that you would love to see, I would love some ideas in the comment section so I know what to create for you. All right, so thanks and have a great